Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, July the 30th. We have a tropical system to monitor in the Atlantic Basin. It looks like it can impact the southeastern part of the U.S. in about a week or so. Specific area of interest or of concern, in my opinion, eastern side of Florida up along the southeast coastline to the Carolinas. Probably makes a curve to the north and then northeast, paralleling or right near or over the southeast U.S. coastline. Again, likely the east side of Florida up across the Carolinas by the time we get to a week to 10 days out from now. Still in the speculation phase and something we'll closely monitor over the next several days. And we'll focus in on that tropical threat during the next several minutes. But I wanted to begin here just to take a look at the temperatures in the Arctic region. I always like to look at other parts of the world, especially as we approach the winter season. This is a running plot of the temperatures in the Arctic region, really in that area from 80 degrees all the way up to the pole. It's recorded here by the Danish Meteorological Institute, and it's an interesting pattern that is repeating this year in that the Arctic region is experiencing nearly normal temperatures, and that follows a cold season with well above normal temperatures. Here we see a running daily average from the first of the year, January, all the way out to the middle part of July, and this is the orange shows actual temperature observations in the Arctic region. And this period right in here is the all-important summer melting season in the Arctic. And right here, the freezing level. This line, dash line here, represents the freezing level, 0 degrees Celsius. So when temperatures run nearly normal in the summer melting season up across the Arctic, it's not far from freezing. So this is kind of the important time of the year with respect to Arctic sea ice. If you get well above normal temperatures in the summer season, you will get a more significant melting during the summer season. But this pattern of nearly normal or even a tick below normal here by the middle part of July has been the case for the not only last several years, but really going back to the beginning of the century. And as long as summertime melting season temperatures remain nearly normal in the Arctic region, the Arctic sea ice will not drop off significantly. Even if there's above normal temperatures in the cold season, those temperatures are typically well below freezing, so it doesn't have nearly the impact on Arctic sea ice as the temperatures in the summer season. So I have a posting right now at Arcfieldweather.com on the Arctic temperatures and the sea ice pattern. It's kind of interesting how it's mimicked the same kind of a temperature pattern each of the last 20 years or so. And again, as long as temperatures remain nearly normal in the Arctic, not far from freezing during the summertime, that Arctic sea ice will show some resiliency. Well, let's now focus in on the tropical threat here again for the southeastern U.S., maybe a week to 10 days away. Here is the location of the system right now. It is not a named tropical storm at this particular time. This is the Caribbean Sea, and all indications are it will continue on a west-northwest track and then start to turn at this particular time. Now, whether it reaches land is still just too early to say, but I think the highest threat right now will be along the eastern side of Florida, up across the Carolina coastline, right in this region right here. It may only impact the may only directly impact the eastern Carolinas. We'll have to wait and see on that. Again, I think odds favor kind of a turn in this direction, and again, it may reach eastern Florida. It's just too early to say, and certainly it's not out of the realm of possibility that it slides farther to the west and spills out in the Gulf of Mexico. It's something we'll certainly closely monitor over the next several days. Well, let's take a look at the Canadian model run from 0Z last night. I want to focus in on the main upper level feature that will play a big role in the ultimate path of this tropical system. First of all, we have strong high pressure ridging over southeastern Canada. Again, we pointed this out that whenever you have strong high pressure ridging over southeastern Canada, this time of the year, watch out underneath. There may be a tropical system that pops out of nowhere and then slides to the west right towards the southeastern part of the U.S. Indeed, that is holding true right now. This, by the way, is that upper level feature, that upper level low that produced some heavy rainfall over New England yesterday, and the preceding night it has now moved overland and is weakening again. A dominant feature here at this beginning of the day on Tuesday is this high pressure ridge over southeastern Canada. But let's move forward here in time, and we'll see general high pressure ridging, higher heights than normal here into the midweek and the latter part of the week. But then we have this trough starting to show up here by the time we get to the end of the work week. This is now Friday, August 2nd. And keep in mind, we have this tropical system slowly advancing west-northwest across the southwestern Atlantic at this time. And here's that trough at the end of the week, and you see it kind of gets joined by another trough dropping in across the Hudson Bay region of Canada by the time we get to the middle or latter part of the upcoming weekend. You can see kind of a troughiness setting up right here. And again, depending on the strength of this particular trough and the timing will dictate, likely dictate where this tropical system ends up. It could pull it in towards the landmass of the southeastern U.S., or it could kind of steer it a little bit away. And again, I'm kind of thinking this kind of a track here at this particular time. Now, let's move forward a couple more days and watch what happens here with this trough. And here we go. That initial trough kind of gets reinforced by this second trough up over the southeastern part of Canada. This is now next Monday time frame. And again, all of that will play a role. And right here is kind of the indication at the 500 millibar level of that tropical system on this particular Canadian model run. So again, this incoming trough across southeastern Canada will play a big role in the ultimate path of this system. Again, what's on the line right now is a possible track, something like this. Again, whether it makes it all the way to eastern Florida, still a bit too early to say, but it could be right in this location in about a week or so. This is all the way out to next Tuesday, a week from right now. Now let's walk through the surface forecast maps from last night. Canadian model run. Kind of widespread area of showers and thunderstorms as we begin the day here on Tuesday across the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and that works its way to the east and certainly impacts the I-95 corridor region later today into tonight. Any thunderstorm later tonight in the Mid-Atlantic region can produce some heavy rainfall, can be strong and produce some heavy rainfall. That's quite an impressive upper-level shortwave that will enhance the upward motion across the Mid-Atlantic region. So again, watch out this afternoon and tonight throughout the Mid-Atlantic region for some strong thunderstorm activity. And then we go into the middle of the week here on Wednesday, and there'll be still some unsettled conditions across much of the eastern half of the nation, basically dry and very, very warm, and across the western half of the nation at midweek. And then we move farther out in time. And again, we mentioned that upper level trough that's kind of helping to produce a surface low pressure by the time we get to the end of the work week. That's that initial trough over the Great Lakes by the early part of Friday. And then keep in mind there was another trough driving southeast across eastern Canada by the end of the weekend of the upcoming early part of next week. Here we go now by Sunday. And then we'll watch here on the surface maps here what the Canadian model does here by the time we get to Monday. And here is that tropical system as depicted here on last night's run of the Canadian model. Again, it kind of moves over the Bahamas and then starts to turn to the north and east in this fashion. Again, this whole area, of course, right here has to stay on guard here, but it could stay just a little bit off the coast. It could move right over the coast. It's just too early to say. We'll go out a little bit farther in time. Again, this is just one model run here, and something we'll closely monitor. It starts to intensify at this time, and this is also, let me mention this, that this is a concern that The system may very well become kind of a rapid intensifying system as it gets near the southeastern U.S. coast. That's always more of a concern when it starts to intensify nearing landfall or close to landfall in this particular case. So this is again indicated here by the Canadian model runner last night. I tend to support this idea that it may not become a powerhouse until it gets towards the end of this track here as it approaches the southeast U.S. coastline. I'm not saying it'll become a major hurricane, but I am saying the possibility exists for somewhat rapid intensification in this time frame here. We're talking the early part of next week. We'll go a little farther in time, and thankfully in this particular model run it stays just off the coast. But again, notice 996 millibar low. We'll backtrack a little bit. It goes from a 1006 in 12 hours to a 996 at this particular time. And again, I think this is certainly within the realm of possibility of rapidly intensifying system in about a week's time as it close to the southeast U.S. coastline. Maybe at this particular time, a week from right now, it'll be right near the Outer Banks of the Carolinas. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.